Hello and welcome to Elevate. We are back this week with Angela Glenn. Angela Glenn is the lead massage therapist for the Tom Gustav Retreats in the Atlanta, Georgia market. Angela's incredible career for the past 8 years has seen her advance from shift lead to regional lead therapist and trainer. Her career is a template for what a skilled massage therapist can hope to achieve at Massage Heights. I'm happy to be back to discuss more with Angela today. What have you learned, going from being a massage therapist yourself and just worrying about, your guest in the room, right? Versus having to train skills to other therapists. What have you learned about that? Has there been anything?
I would say the biggest thing for me is that I had to take myself out of it. I used to go into it with the mindset, like if I could do it or if, been there, done it, then why can't you?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to take a step back. I was like, okay, everybody's not like me. Everybody doesn't have the same work ethic, background, whatever the case may be. And literally take each person as they were. Even in my trainings, I give it enough time to where if you have somebody that learns a little slower than the other, I still give that opportunity for that person that's learning at a slower pace to catch up or not feel like, oh, I'm just, holding everybody back.
Got it.
I let them know we're all in this together. If somebody's moving a little faster, I may ask that person just to kind of slow down just a little bit while this person catches up.
Sure.
So making them feel comfortable in the space, making them feel comfortable where they are and meeting them where they are and seeing where they are at that moment and kind of letting them grow as they should.
That's great. What are you most proud of as far as management goes? Do you have what do you feel like you're really good at? Do you feel, obviously connecting with people? It sounds like that's a big one, but from recruiting to retention to whatever, is there something that you feel like you guys are just really good at in your 3 locations and that you really are able to contribute to?
I would say the biggest portion probably would be recruiting, actually getting them in. Because of course, we have those therapists that when they realize who we are, they kind of lump us in with some of our other competitors, unfortunately. Yep. So, but once we connect and get them into one of our locations and let them see exactly what we're all about, let them know that we're not like our competitors, then they're able to see, okay, this is a place for me. So I think that's the biggest thing would be creating that culture where they feel like they can come and actually thrive and build as a therapist, whether it be within Massage Heights and then move on or stick with Massage Heights for a long term.
Well, so once you get them there, that's probably easy to do because of the culture that you guys have created that you do have. But tell me, let's back up a little bit and talk about how you're getting them in. So it is the biggest challenge that we face is that Massage Heights does get lumped in with other competitors, right? And we've got one big competitor that unfortunately I think has created makes it harder for the rest of us.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And so how do you even get past that to get them even to make that phone call or to get them on, like once you have them on the phone, to get them over that hump of, oh, it's another massage franchise? What is it that you're saying or doing, or how are you getting past that to get them in the door?
I think the biggest thing is the initial connection with making that phone call, letting them know like, hey, I get what you're saying, but just give us a chance. Come in, try us out. Just come in and have a talk with us. Come in and actually look at one of our locations to see exactly what we're all about. But I think it is that first initial interaction over the phone, letting them hear an actual voice, not a text message, but just an actual voice, and having that compassion within the voice to let them know that I'm here for you. This is a place that you need to be. I'm here for you. This is where you can grow, and just starting there, having that love and that compassion for Massage Heights and for what we do at the initial connection.
And that call so that they feel it and hear it.
Exactly.
Wow. So are you responsible for all of the applicants? Are you the point of contact?
I am not.
Okay.
Each of our retreat directors
Okay.
are, and there has been talk to actually allow me to help when they need, but it is our retreat directors that is the initial contact.
Okay, so they're really the ones that are providing that initial
Exactly.
connection
Yes.
with them, and that's so. Do you feel like that's working pretty well? I mean, are you guys able to sort of overcome that objection of another massage franchise, or through those things that you're saying and that feeling that they're getting? Is it able to get is it easy to get them over the hump, or is it
For the most part, I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. I mean, there are some that are, real tough to sell on it.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, we do a very good job. Once we get that contact with them, they come in, they see what we're all about, then they're pretty hooked after that.
Yeah, that's good. Do you know what the protocol is for when that application comes in, kind of timing? I know you're not actually doing the job, but do
Right.
you know the timing of the first contact once an application comes in, or
It's immediately.
It's immediate. Yeah.
Yep. We
It-
want to get in contact with them immediately, get them scheduled for an interview to come in and sit down and talk with us. So as soon as they get that application, we're on the phone, contacted them immediately.
Yeah. Are you finding that it's phone call, or is it text message, or both, or what are you guys doing?
We have had text messages in the past, which
Yeah.
have worked, but me personally, I feel like the phone calls actually work a lot better.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. And you like that connection probably as a
course.
therapist yourself. You want to hear from somebody. So that's good information. You are on the Therapist Ambassador program, or the Therapist Ambassador Council.
Yes, I am.
And tell me just a little bit about kind of how that has been for you. We've had a little bit of a break in that, but we had several meetings leading up to the conference this last year. I think you guys met at the convention this past year as
Yes.
well. What has that meant to you, and what do you hope to accomplish with the Therapist Ambassador program in the future?
Well, for one, it just gave me a place amongst my peers that, one, have experienced a lot of things that I've gone through.
Yeah.
And two,
It's a
just
peer
being
group,
able,
yeah.
exactly. And two, just being able to come together as a whole and being able to come up with different ideas on how to help the massage side of our company just move forward. Giving the therapist a mouthpiece, letting them know that, hey, we're taking your concerns directly to the top, and allowing them to see you all really, have our best interests at heart.
Yeah.
And it shows a different side to the corporate side of Massage Heights.
Sure. Yeah.
And it does. It just lets them know that, okay, they really are hearing us. They really are taking what we're saying to heart. And they want to know what, you all can do to make it a lot better for our therapists and our skin therapists in the field. And just being able to come together with and make different ideas, especially with the new uniforms.
Have you seen the most recent renderings of the uniforms?
Tom actually showed
He
us.
did?
Yeah, he showed us a clip of it. I was like, I'm so excited. I can't wait until we can actually roll it out. But
Yes. Well, you guys are going to we've got salesman samples that are being made. And so you will get those first, and we'll be able to give us feedback on fit and style. And so if there's anything that we have to change before we actually make hundreds of them,
right.
you'll get to have that feedback, or that input, I should say.
Yeah. And I think it's just nice to know that the therapist can wear something that was actually designed by peers.
Yes.
And it wasn't just somebody from corporate saying, okay, this is what, the therapist needs to wear when you all are not in the rooms.
Yeah.
It needs stuff that's breathable and we can work in and not feel like we're sweating our brains out.
Yes, understood. So obviously uniforms is something you're super excited about.
Oh, yes.
What else? Was there anything else that you guys discussed that was exciting to you as far as, maybe potential change?
Let's see, maybe just the overall structure and the focus being turned more onto the therapist. I think coming into the organization, it was, of course, always about the client, getting the client to come back, and that was the main focus. But now it's like, okay, what do our therapists need?
Yeah.
How can we be the employer of choice?
Yeah.
And stick out the most from all of our other competitors. So being able to come up with ways on how we can actually do that and where it can benefit the therapist and the skin therapist was a big thing for me as well.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, what else could we be doing or should we be doing to set ourselves apart with therapists and skin therapists? How can we be more competitive? How can we be the employer of choice from your perspective?
I think we're actually doing it with the ongoing training, having the atmosphere where they feel like they can actually grow, not just skill set wise, but even personally, and just creating that culture from the head down where it is a family feel. It's just not a job. It's just not a place where you can just come and get, paid and go home, but you can actually grow as a person, as a therapist. So we definitely have actually started that, and I'm very proud to say that I do see it in our locations, especially. Just that transition, just putting that focus back on the therapist and what we can actually do to make them happy.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you feel like all of that is sort of coming to fruition.
Yes.
And there's still so much more.
Of course.
I mean, as we look into the future and we innovate, Massage Heights 2.0 or even the next version of our 2.0, there's just so many opportunities for customization. And we've got some things in the pipeline right now that we're working on that once we get our ambassador panel together again, we'll start sharing, because we've sort of been creeping into some of those things, and we've got some cool stuff to share and want y'all's feedback on too.
Sweet.
So it's so good to hear, and we're really honored to have people like you on that panel, because we do truly want your opinions. We want to we want to be the employer of choice, and we want to know what it's going to take to be that. And so it's great to have you guys. And tell me about winning Regional Therapist of the Year and what that meant to you. What was that like? What did you have any idea that you were going to win the award? First of all,
I did not.
You did not?
I did not.
No clue?
No.
Awesome.
When they started reading the description that Tom gave them, I was like, wait a minute.
That sounds
like me. It's like, what? And I just happened to look over to him. He was just looking straight ahead like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. And when they said my name, it took me a minute before I even stood. I was like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
But it meant a lot, just for the simple fact that knowing my journey, knowing where I came from, and the fact that Tom took the opportunity to even write something, submit my name, means that he actually saw my growth. He saw my love, my passion for what it is that I do, and it almost felt like he finally saw me and just kind of validated what I've been doing all this time. Like I told you before we came on, I'm not a spotlight type person, so
you are today.
I know. Yes, I am. Which I,
and you have been before.
Yes. But it's one of those things. So I don't do what I do for the recognition. I do because I love what I do.
Sure.
But being recognized at that point amongst my peers really felt like, okay, I'm doing something right.
That's awesome.
I'm on the right path.
That's awesome.
So,
well, we love giving that award to you,
Thank
we
you.
are appreciative too of Tom and the time that he took also to submit you as a possibility for the award. And frankly, I tell people this all the time, but my favorite part of the entire convention are those last few awards that we give out to team members,
Yes.
and even when we give everybody the medallion. Yes, and this last year was so amazing to see the
So
sheer
many.
number of people on that stage.
There was so many people.
Yeah. It was so awesome, and I just want to see that grow.
Yes.
And it's just great, because even if they didn't get an award, just to be recognized for your efforts is just a really, really cool thing. And so, always
Yes, it
my
is.
favorite part. I
Yes,
love
ma'am.
I love it.
Me
I love
too.
it. It's why we do what we do, right?
Yes.
We have quite a few franchisees, strategic partners that watch this podcast every week. What do you think is important for them to hear from a massage therapist perspective? What would you like Tom to know that you haven't told him. Or maybe you've told Tom, but you think other strategic partners
Right.
should know. What's an important thing for our strategic partners to know about therapists or
I I don't really think it's so much about therapists, but maybe how they interact with the therapist. Um, Again, I know that it's a hard job running one of these locations, let alone multiple locations. But I feel that if an owner can show that softer side, they can actually come in and speak with a therapist, make that time. If a therapist is having an issue, either with what we stand for or what our policies are, why do we do what we do, and myself or a retreat director can tell them all day, but it's still like, no, I want to hear from the top down. Being able to be available for that therapist and showing them like, hey, I'll come and talk to you.
Got it.
It's not a problem. Yes, I
Important
own
that
this.
they have a connection with the owner.
Exactly.
Got
Taking
it.
that time to maybe not learn every therapist, but at least a few of them.
Yeah.
And being able to connect with them.
Yeah.
And not seeing that they're so, withdrawn from everything.
Understood. Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that would be the biggest thing that a therapist looks for.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Just to be in touch with the business and to have some FaceTime,
Exactly.
so that people see you and that you care. What is your favorite Massage Heights value and why?
Let's see. I would have to say it's a cross between loyalty and passion. I feel like you definitely have to have passion for what we do to be able to make it in the industry alone. But definitely to be able to grow within this company, you definitely have to have passion. And I would say also loyalty, not so much to Massage Heights, but to what we do. And the reason I say that is because if we focus on what it is that we come in to do, everything else will fall into place. People will love what we offer, what we give our therapists when they come in, if they just focus on that and stay true and loyal to why they got into the profession. Everything else will fall into place at that point. So I would say it's a cross between passion and loyalty for me.
I like that. I think those are good. Those are great.
Thank you.
If you could elevate the life of one person today in any way, who would it be and how would you do it?
I would probably have to say my mother.
Yeah.
Just because she is the main reason why I got into this profession. If it wasn't for her, kind of giving me that little like, hey, this is, Phil, this is your career path. There's no telling where I would be and what I would be doing right now. So I would have to say my mother, and if I could do it every day, showing her the love. If I was still in Charlotte, giving her a massage
Yeah,
that
that's a great
she
way.
definitely needs. Whenever I could possibly do it, but I would say that would be the person, and just showing her my gratitude for who she is and the support that she's given me over the years, for sure.
That's great. I think that's makes a whole lot of sense, considering that she really inspired you to get into the industry that you love so much, and
Exactly.
and that hopefully you feel has loved you back.
Yes, it definitely has. It definitely has.
That's good. Is there anything today that you would like to say that you haven't been able to say? Is there anything that I haven't asked you, or something that you think is important to share?
No, I think I've said it all.
Have
I
you?
just hope that I've been able to help somebody out there, whether it be a strategic partner, an RD, or even a lead therapist that may be out there just hearing my story. Hopefully it has helped somebody and let them know that it's, one, growth doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen staying in your comfort zone. So you have to take those chances. You have to step out of your comfort zone. Prime example of that.
Yes.
But I would say that would just be the biggest thing, just being open to change, to learning. Do not be afraid to ask for help. I think a lot of times we feel like we get into these management roles and we have to be perfect. We have to, perform at a certain level, and we can't show that vulnerability But I think that's the beauty of growing. That's the beauty of learning, is knowing that you have somebody that's like, hey, I need help here.
Yeah.
And being able to grow from that and having somebody that you can say, I need help.
Yes. Ask for help in tough situations.
Exactly. So
Absolutely.
I would say that would probably be the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to ask for help, to say, hey, I'm lost. Can you help me? Whatever the case may be. Because that is the only way that we can grow individually and as a whole.
They say vulnerability is a sign of strength. So having the wherewithal to just to ask for that help
Yes.
In itself is not a weakness. It is absolutely a strength, and it makes us better when we do so. So that's very
That it
good
does.
advice.
Well,
Very,
thank you.
Very good advice.
Took me years to learn it.
Well, sometimes again, it's just a process, right? Of seeking to learn by listening first, right? And we always, you hear about people who listen to figure out what they're going to say next, but it's really should be listening to understand, right? And
Exactly.
it's easier said than done.
It is.
For sure, for sure. But I really appreciate having you come on.
Thank
and
you.
I know it's a tough time in your personal life right now, and
Yes.
so I'm so grateful to have you, and that you did you were committed and you stayed committed, and
Thank you.
I wouldn't have blamed you if you hadn't, but I really appreciate it.
Thank
So.
you. It's been an honor.
Now that you've heard from us, we would love to hear from you. If you have any ideas or suggestions on who or what you'd like to hear on the next podcast, please send a message to communications@massageheights.com. Don't forget to like and to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. You don't want to miss the information that's coming up. Thank you, and as always, elevate the everyday.